Murong Chui declared himself the king of Yan and joined forces with various rebel armies to attack Yi City. In response, Fu Pai sent his advisor Jiang Rang as an envoy to persuade Murong Chui to stop. When Jiang Rang met Murong Chui, he sternly rebuked him, saying, "Last year, when His Majesty lost his support, you protected the imperial chariot, worked tirelessly for the state, and your loyalty and righteousness surpassed the sages of old. Now, you should follow the same path of loyalty and integrity. Why are you abandoning such monumental achievements to engage in these excessive actions? It is praiseworthy to correct one's mistakes once recognized, as the sages have taught. I hope you consider this carefully. It's not too late to come to your senses now. I have received unprecedented kindness from the emperor, which is why I want to protect Chang Legong, Fu Pai, and allow him to take all the troops and personnel to leave Yi City and return to Chang'an. Then, I can restore the ancestral temple of the Yan kingdom and remain a friendly neighbor to the Qin dynasty. Why do you not understand this opportunity and return Yi City to us? Upholding great justice can even override family ties. How can you only focus on loyalty? If you persist in your stubbornness, I am prepared to meet you in battle. Things have come to this point, and I fear that your request alone won't be enough to resolve it." Jiang Rang rebuked Murong Chui, saying, "General, you were not accepted by your own country and sought refuge in the imperial court. Does even an inch of Yan's land truly belong to you? When the emperor first met you, he recognized your extraordinary talent. Though you and the emperor are of different backgrounds and character, he was immediately captivated by you. Together, you worked in harmony, and he entrusted you with great responsibilities, favoring you even above his own kin and long-serving ministers. Your rank was on par with the prince's. Has there ever been a deeper bond between ruler and subject? Why, then, did you develop disloyal intentions after just a minor setback for the imperial army? Moreover, your rebellion lacks legitimacy and is doomed to fail. What heaven intends to abolish cannot be changed by man. You raise an illegitimate army, attempting to pursue a cause that heaven has destined to fall. I believe you are bound to fail. Chang Legong Fu Pai is the emperor's eldest son, entrusted with defending the lands east of Shaanxi. How could he simply hand over 100 cities to you without resistance? Ministers die for the king's cause, and rulers sacrifice for the nation. If you wish to destroy your title, sever your roots, and block your future, then by all means, continue your military actions. There is no need for me to say more. But considering that you are already 70 years old, will you truly let your head hang from a white banner? You were once a loyal servant of unparalleled integrity, but now you have suddenly become a treacherous ghost. I privately grieve for you." Murong Chui remained silent and did not heed suggestions to kill Jiang Rang. Instead, he showed respect and allowed him to return. However, Murong Chui continued to present the pros and cons, urging Fu Pai to abandon the city and flee. This provoked both Fu Jian and Fu Pai, who wrote letters accusing him in response. When persuasion failed, the Yan army began its assault on Yi City, capturing its outer city while Fu Pai retreated to defend the inner city. Murong Chui then deployed over 200,000 Dingling and Wuhuan troops, using ladders and tunnel warfare tactics to attack the city, but these efforts were unsuccessful. He then ordered the construction of a long encircling wall for defense and built the new Xingqing to store supplies, preparing for a protracted siege. Soon after, Murong Chui attempted to flood the city by diverting the Zhang River, but even this failed to capture it. He finally resorted to besieging Yi City, leaving only a western opening for the Qin forces to retreat westward. At that time, Yi City had withstood a long siege, and Zhai Bin began showing signs of treachery. Murong Bao suggested killing him, but Murong Chui said, "The alliance we made in Henan must not be betrayed. If he becomes a problem, the fault will lie with Zhai Bin. If we kill him now before anything happens, people will surely say I fear his abilities. I am currently gathering talented individuals to strengthen our great cause, and I must not appear narrow-minded, or we will lose the trust of the realm. Even if he has plans, I will outwit him with my strategy. He will not be able to do anything." The Prince of Fanyang, Murong De, the Prince of Chenlu, Murong Shao, and the General of Agile Cavalry, Murong Nong, all said, "Zhai Bin and his brothers are arrogant due to their achievements and will surely become a threat to the state." Murong Chui replied, "Arrogance leads to swift defeat. How can they be a threat? They have made great contributions and should be allowed to destroy themselves. There is no need for us to act." He treated Zhai Ben with even greater respect. Not long after, Zhai Ben requested to be appointed as the chancellor, with authority over all political affairs. Murong Chui responded, "Given the merits of Prince Zhai, it is fitting for you to hold a high office. However, since the government has not yet been fully established, such a position cannot be created hastily." After being refused his demand for power, Zhai Ben, humiliated and enraged, rebelled. He secretly communicated with Fu Pai inside Yi City and sent Dingling troops to breach the dike, relieving the threat of flooding in Yi City. When the plot was discovered, Murong Chui executed Zhai Ben and his brothers, sparing the others. Zhai Ben's nephew, Zhai Zhen, escaped to Handan under the cover of night. The defenders of Yi City, besieged for a long time, were running out of provisions. Murong Chui believed that Fu Pai, as a desperate foe, would fight to the death and refuse to surrender. Therefore, he decided to temporarily lift the siege, leaving an escape route for the defenders of Yi City, as a way to repay the past kindness of Fu Jian. Murong Chui then moved his troops to the newly built city, planning to first eliminate the rebel forces of Zhai Zhen and resolve the threats from the north. He also sent his many nephews and sons to pacify the armed forces within the former Yan Kingdom territory that had not yet submitted. Murong Nong was sent to various regions to collect taxes and tributes, securing a large supply of military resources. In December, Murong Wei planned to kill Fu Jian, but the plot was discovered, and he was executed. After hearing the news, many officials urged Murong Chui to declare himself emperor. However, Murong Chui declined, citing that Murong Chong has already claimed the title in Guangzhou. In reality, Murong Chui had not yet secured a stable base of operations or built a sufficiently powerful army. Being cautious, he did not want to hastily declare himself emperor and become the target of numerous local armed forces. Fu Pai still held on to Yi City and showed no intention of leaving. Murong Chui again surrounded Yi City, leaving only a route for Fu Pai to retreat. With his forces dwindling and supplies exhausted, Fu Pai urgently sought aid from the eastern Jin, reaching out to the general Xie Xian. He sent his cousin, Fu Jiao, to deliver valuable items such as bronze mirrors and gold jewelry to Xie Xian, and the two formed an alliance. Xie Xian dispatched renowned generals Lu Laozi and Ting Tianji, who had previously achieved a great victory against the Qin army at the Battle of Feishui, leading an army of 20,000 to rescue Yi City. They also transported 240,000 jin of rice by land and water to support Fu Pai. In February 385, Lu Laozi arrived at Fangtu. At this time, Fu Pai discovered that his subordinates Yang Ying and Jiang Rang had secretly submitted a petition to the Western Jin court, promising that if the Jin army came to their aid, they would pledge allegiance to Jin. Fu Pai was furious and executed both Yang Ying and Jiang Rang. Upon learning of this, Lu Laozi hesitated and did not advance. In March, the Yan army failed to capture Yi City, and Murong Chui decided to head north to Jizhou. At this time, Lu Laozi attacked Lu Fu, the governor of Liang in Yan territory. Murong Chui personally led his troops to rescue Lu Fu and drove Lu Laozi back. In April, Lu Laozi defeated Murong Chui at Yi City, forcing him to retreat to the new city. Soon after, Murong Chui retreated further north from the new city. Eager for achievements, Lu Laozi pursued the retreating Yan forces without informing Fu Pai, who, upon learning of this, also dispatched his troops to follow. The Yan army had suffered consecutive defeats, leading to low morale. Murong Chui believed the Qin and Jin have formed a strong alliance, and they treat each other as equals. If one side wins, they will both gain glory. If one side loses, they will both collapse. Their unity is not as strong as it seems. Now that the two armies are coming in succession and their forces have not yet fully combined, we should strike urgently. Lu Laozi marched urgently for 200 li and arrived at Wuqiao Marsh, where he found scattered supplies of the Yan army. Seeing this, the soldiers stopped to scramble for the provisions, causing their formation to become increasingly chaotic. Suddenly, Yan soldiers appeared, with Murong De and Murong Long leading troops to intercept Lu Laozi. The Jin forces suffered a great defeat, with thousands killed. Lu Laozi managed to leap over the Wuzhong Gorge on horseback and escape alone. At that moment, Fu Pai was leading reinforcements to rescue him, allowing Lu Laozi to flee into Yi City. Meanwhile, Fu Pai rushed from Yi City to Fantu to secure supplies from the eastern Jin, providing the Qin defenders in Yi City with a chance to catch their breath and ease the crisis. Soon after, Lu Laozi was recalled to the court by the eastern Jin due to his defeat. In 386, following the advice of his advisors, Murong Chui ascended to the throne as emperor and established Zhongshan as the capital of his state. He granted a general amnesty throughout the realm, appointed officials, repaired the ancestral temples and state altars, and designated Murong Bao as the crown prince.